If you didn't start unplugging 10 years ago, it's already too late. A long time ago, I was well off of social media. I just, no thanks. I would still browse, not off like every single thing didn't exist, but a lot of accounts just no longer existed or I never got on. And there's a lot of stuff where I made an account to browse, but then never actually like posted or did anything with it. And that was kind of it. I've always been not a non-user, but a low key user. And I've never been like a post selfies to the internet type of person, post what I did that day, nothing like that. So not too bad, I guess. Some people really like using different social media as like their own personal diary. And I actually see the value because then when you like scroll back through that profile, the memories, right? It's like a picture book of everything you've done. I think that's nice. I just don't see the need to have a website for that. I'll take my own photos. I'll put them in my own, wherever the I want to put them. I never wanted to collect that stuff for other people to see ever. I also, an experience that I never liked, it's not like a big deal, but something I never liked is I put something out there on the internet and then I go walk around and someone I haven't seen in a while just knows what's going on in my life, right? Oh, I saw you were doing this. How's that been? Because then I feel like you lose so much of the normal conversation people used to have, which is you go talk to someone that you haven't seen in a while and they have no idea what's been going on with you and they ask what's been going on with you and then you get to have a conversation about it. I don't like when you see someone that you haven't seen in a while and they just have like the preface already, You know what I mean? Because it feels like then all they talk about is what they've already seen and maybe they have some assumption about it or some interest in it or whatever. Why? Because it drives conversations in an unnatural direction, in my opinion. It's a small difference. It's not huge, but I think it's less natural than when you just sit there in front of someone who hasn't seen you for the past, 6 months, a year, 2 years, and they're just like, how have you been? How's work been? How's family been? How's blah, 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 I think it just, I don't know. It also, looking at things on social media gives you an unrealistic view of it, right? It's framed exactly as the picture showed or the caption showed or whatever. People have time to think about what to say instead of just naturally talking about it in a one-on-one conversation. So yeah, it's tailored, right? It's not like a horribly negative thing. I just am like, it doesn't feel right. When I compare it to conversations I have with someone where they don't know anything about how I've been doing and we're just catching up normally, those conversations feel so much more normal and realistic. If that makes sense. It's not to say the other stuff isn't real, but they already have some idea in their head of how things have gone. And it's, I don't know. I just don't like it. I much prefer no one knows what's going on with me. No one sees me. And then I just run into someone and it's been years and they're like, oh my God, what happened? Where have you been? And I'm like, well, and I can regale them with, everything. I don't know. It's just better for me. On a related note, I was actually wondering if you ever had a fan bring up a personal anecdote you made on stream a long time ago that's made you feel like weirded out that they remember that, if that makes sense. I've kind of accepted that everything you say has been said. Anyone could remember any little thing for any reason. And I kind of go into it with that mindset. So if someone remembers some random thing I said 5 years ago, I'm just kind of like, well, it's out there. I chose to say it, so it's whatever, At the same time, yes, I have felt that way, absolutely. But more so from people that have they try to keep this information like a wiki. Yeah, I do remember a lot of what chat says as well. Sometimes people will be like, oh, I did this. And I'll be like, oh yeah, you work as this. And they're like, what? What's a good example? Oh yeah, Speakman's here. Speakman has done tax prep, right? And you'll probably be like, ew, because I remember that. But I remember these things. You remember stuff. So if someone remembers something about me, I'm like, well, that's fine because I said it. If I remember something about you, that's fine because you typed it, right? I think we're in the same boat there. So stuff like that, I don't know. I think that's normal. But I think the thing that bothers me more so from that is when they how do I say this? They think they know me because they remember a lot of things I've said, if that makes sense. Knowing a really long list of facts about someone is not the same as knowing them. And I find personally, when I watch a streamer or I watch a content creator, I might know a ton about them. But when I finally meet them, they feel in real time, they feel completely different than when you're on the side of just knowing stuff and watching them, if that makes sense. So it's more so if people think they're like, oh, I could list everything about you like a wiki. I still don't think that person knows me at all. They know some factoids about me, which is cool. That's fine. I'm not uncomfortable with that, right? I say stuff on stream. I say it. It's okay. But yeah, if they think that they have any sort of understanding in a personal way, they would play out a scenario in their head, and then if they met me, it'd go exactly the same. They're wrong, So as long as they don't assume they already know and they know how this is gonna go, then I don't care. I think most people are realistic about that. I think most people here, at least in this chat, at least get that. I think most of you are sane. Probably, I hope. I feel the same way toward you guys. Even if you list a whole bunch of things and you say a lot of shit in my chat, I don't think I know you like that. And if you show up to a meet and greet and I talk to you directly, that I already have you figured out or some shit, you know what I mean? Yeah, you might have given me a bunch of factoids. It doesn't, and I know how you type. That doesn't mean I know you like that, right? There are plenty of people that when, like if we do meet and greets, for example, I like those because it's the only time you get to actually interact with someone, like the only time in a real way. So a lot of the time when I meet someone and they're like, oh, I'm this chatter, I would not have guessed that they were that chatter, right? If we talked for the whole meet and greet and then at the end they say, oh, by the way, I'm this username, I can like never guess them because people come off very differently when you actually talk one-on-one. Even if I've watched them stream before, even if I've heard them talk in Discord VC before, it's different. So once a streamer called me by name and I forgot I had mentioned it years ago, I was like running into a wall. That's one I try to not do because I don't know who wants that known. Sometimes someone says it one time and they're fine with it, but then a year later they're like, maybe not. So some of you I do know, you have said stuff. Or like I've like reviewed a thing on stream. I've watched a video and some dude is like, my name's Jeff. And then someone's like, haha, my name's Jeff too. I'm not gonna be like, hello, Jeff, when like, you know, that person comes into chat because I don't know if they like want that pointed out. Maybe it was a slip up. I don't know. You'll never guess my name. Oh, I wonder. Rudy89. I wonder.